What's up guys, it's Jeff Chan from MMA Shredded, and in today's video, I'll be showing you 10 effective ways that you can throw your roundhouse kick to the body. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. The first way to roundhouse kick is your standard step and rear roundhouse kick. It is best to set it up with the jab or the lead hook, or you can just blast it off rhythm. I also like to throw it as an interception and counter when I see my opponent moving forward at me. To execute, take a small step in a pivoted position to open up your right hip. As soon as you lift your rear leg to kick, start to pivot up onto your tippy toes with your lead foot. Whip your rear hand down to counterbalance and drive your shin across your opponent's body. For full power, make sure you're turning your hips all the way. For body kicks, you want the shin to be horizontal across your target, but you also want your kicking knee to be above your kicking ankle, so it's slightly tilted upwards. The second way to throw your roundhouse kick is to gallop into your kick. This is most commonly used to close the distance on your opponent, but also to gain momentum and power into your kick. This is probably the method to generate the most power in your roundhouse kick. As you probably noticed, this way of kicking is more telegraphed, but this also allows you to feint or fake your kick to set up other attacks. To execute, step your rear knee up and forward as if you're going to kick from there. Then step your rear foot down, but drive and push off that rear foot and immediately into stepping your lead foot forward to close more distance and into your rear roundhouse kick. But it's the timing and rhythm of the steps that make it a gallop. Knee up, step step. Knee up, step step. The third way to throw your roundhouse kick is to shuffle into your kick. The shuffle is used to create an angle on your opponent. I also like to set up my shuffle kick with a lead hook. I will throw my lead hook and shuffle simultaneously to create an angle and into the kick. So to execute, shift your weight onto your lead foot, then bring your rear foot 45 degrees towards the left, across and behind your lead foot. Before your rear foot lands to the ground, your lead foot should already be in the air and on its way to stepping down. Both your feet are off the ground like a hop. As soon as your rear foot touches the ground, push off the ball of your rear foot and step your lead foot down and towards your opponent, creating an angle on your opponent. Then pivot into your kick. The fourth way to throw your roundhouse kick is the question mark kick. Many people know the question mark kick as Muay Thai legend Sanchai's signature head kick, but it can also be thrown effectively to the body. It has less power, but it's also faster and closes more distance than your standard roundhouse kick. There is a whip to the kick. Not only is it less telegraphed because you disguise the kick with a front kick first and whip it into a roundhouse kick, but it is also easier to pull and retract your leg back into stance if your opponent catches your kick. So to execute, lift your rear knee up in front of your opponent as if you are about to throw a front push kick to the body. Notice my lead foot doesn't pivot yet. Then, as you want to turn it into a roundhouse kick, pivot your lead foot and rotate your heel counterclockwise as you whip your foot into a roundhouse kick. So imagine you're drawing a question mark with your leg. The fifth way to throw your roundhouse kick is to jump into your kick. This is used to close the distance. Although the gallop kick can also close the distance, this jumping kick is less telegraphed, but it also generates less power because you're jumping and losing out on the leverage of stepping and pivoting. To execute, step forward with your lead foot, then jump forward by pushing off the ball of your lead foot and into your jumping roundhouse kick. Again, it's important your shin slices across the body and that you turn your hips all the way until they are facing your left side and make my shin completely horizontal. Your shin should hit your target at the same time your lead foot lands on the ground. The sixth way is to scissor your legs into your kick. The scissor kick can be used to close the distance, but more so to fake your opponent out by pretending to kick left, but then kicking right. To execute, take a small step or just shift your weight onto your rear foot and lift your lead knee up and forward to fake a left leg kick. Then as your lead foot lands to the ground, snap into your roundhouse kick. The seventh way is the switch kick. Now we are using our lead leg to kick instead of our rear leg. The switch kick is used to generate the most power in your left leg. When you switch your stance, you load up your left leg. To execute, lift your lead foot an inch off the ground, then pull it back, making it your rear foot now, as your right foot now steps forward and becomes your lead foot. Notice I step my right foot into the pivoted position, opening up my left hip. From here, immediately launch your left roundhouse kick. After you kick, retract your left leg back into southpaw stance, then take another step back with your right foot to go back to orthodox stance. The eighth way is to step forward into your lead leg kick. This style of kicking is used to close the distance for the left leg and to generate a lot of power. To execute, roll your rear shoulder as if you are throwing a cross, shifting your weight onto your left leg or your lead leg. Then step forward with your rear foot to close the distance and to load up your left leg for that kick. Step your rear foot down hard to really plant your foot to generate power into that kick. Remember that the power comes from the ground. The ninth way is the pendulum kick. I also like to use this style of kicking to close the distance. The difference is that it generates less power but generates more speed. As you pendulum, your left leg does not get loaded up as much as the big forward step in the previous style, creating less power. To execute, shift your weight to your lead foot and leap your rear foot across in front of your lead foot and step into the pivoted position with your heel facing the target. As your right foot is in the air, your left foot is already beginning to lift off the ground and into a kick. You want to fire the left kick as soon as your right foot hits the ground. This pendulum movement helps create momentum and speed into your kick. The last style of kick I call the shuffle lead leg kick.
It's similar to the previous pendulum kick, except you are taking a much smaller step. You are using your rear foot to replace where your lead foot was standing. Because the step is smaller and your lead leg isn't being loaded up, it obviously generates less power, but it's less telegraphed and much faster. I like to use this style of kicking as a way of countering and intercepting my opponent when they move forward at me. So to execute, step your rear foot where your lead foot is standing, then chamber your left leg and into a kick. This is probably my favorite kick with the lead leg. Again, it's about the speed and timing that can be best utilized with this kick.
Jeff.